welcome back to the stream. It's Tuesday. Tuesday! I like to claim that I have a sense of time, but clearly I don't. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for Perpetual Motion, the class where we never stop moving. Woohoo! Yeah, but here's the problem. It's like, when I have the 2 rest days in between classes, that's when my sense of time goes out the window. Where I'm like, where am I? Is it Monday? Is it Friday? Who knows? So I blame my rest days. That's not a great tactic to take either. Hello, my dear. Always wonderful to see you here. Thanks for hanging, even though you already did your workout. Woohoo! Yay for workouts. I hope everybody's doing all right. It's thinking about raining here, which would be really lovely considering, the fires. It spat on my car a little bit as I was pulling into the driveway about an hour ago. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Yes, getting off our butts and moving is a good thing. Man, what a weird day. You know those days where you're like, there are so many things that I really want to be doing and learning and that really excite me, but I am instead having to focus my energy on menial tasks. That has basically been my day, where I would love to have been doing stuff for this channel and, going back to knitting and learning to crochet. And oh my God, I just discovered this YouTube channel called Bernadette Banner, who is a historian, like a clothing historian, and she creates recreations of like 18th and 19th century clothing using the techniques that they would have used. And it's just, I may or may not have watched a 45-minute video of her making an 1800s ball gown last night. Don't worry about it. But all of this stuff, and I was not able to do any of it. And so now my brain is in this like really kind of awkward, frustrated place, where it's like, I know I have all this energy to do all of this stuff, but you forced me to do this completely pointless, meaningless crap today instead, and now I'm grumpy. So that's kind of how I'm coming into class, which is, it's frustrating. It's a frustrating way to come into class, but I like to be honest with you guys when I am not sitting here in the greatest place. It's not a bad place. It's just, it's annoying. It's annoying. We all obviously would rather be able to put our brains towards the things that really excite and stimulate us. And when we not only cannot do that, but we also have to instead put our brains to something that feels really pointless or meaningless or time sucky, that makes it even more frustrating. So, not the greatest Tuesday, but I'm here. I'm here. We've got class, and that's awesome. And we're gonna have an awesome class regardless. It's Perpetual Motion Day, so if you are new to class, that means that even when we are not working, we are never just resting. We have an active rest exercise called cross jacks, which I will demonstrate when we get to it, when we finish our warm-up. But when we are not doing a timer with exercises, we will be doing our active rest, our cross jacks. So we do not stop some sort of movement for the entirety of class. So it's intense, because this is still on the spectrum of high intensity interval training. So it is definitely a step up in intensity. So just come into class with eyes open, and, prepare to work hard and hopefully have some fun. We try to have fun here. So pre-class checklist, yes, I'm still using a pint glass, but make sure you have your water, hopefully in a bottle, not a glass. Although, why, what's the point of working out in our homes if we can't just put water into a pint glass? You got your comfy clothes on, you've got your mat set up or some sort of mat-sized space for you to exercise in. And if you're using a fitness wearable, let's get those going right now. High intensity interval training is the setting I use for this class, for basically all of my classes except for the Friday one. Oh God, yeah, that sounds awful. Let's exercise instead. All right, so now that we're here and we've got our water and we've got our comfy clothes and we've gotten ourselves pumped up to work out a little bit, let's go do that warm up. So everybody over to your mats. That thing's on, right? Yes, it's on. Good. On your mats, on your backs, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee, and we will start with our hip rocks and bridges as soon as you hear the timer. And just so you know, as soon as that timer goes, you are now officially moving non-stop for the rest of this hour. Woohoo! It's intense. We don't have a ton of the style of class that requires the constant motion. There are certainly plenty of exercise classes out there that would go for something like this, but most classes that I have taken still build in, rest periods, even if they're only a couple. So it requires us to really turn our brains over towards marathon setting rather than sprint setting. We want to absolutely be switching feet here. We want to absolutely be pushing, for energy and for intensity when we are actually digging into our different exercises, but we also have to remember that we need to maintain enough energy to get through the entirety of class without ever getting to sit down or stand around for a bit. You will have to keep moving the whole time. So, let's use the warm-up in addition to its role in just helping us to boot up the systems that we need for exercise. Let's also use the warm-up to get ourselves acclimated to what the rest of class is going to look like, all right? So as we roll onto our sides, start doing our best Jane Fonda impression, let's get ourselves settled in the knowledge that we will be moving in some form or other for the rest of the hour. We're not even doing Tabata timers today because those have built-in rest periods, and I could do those with the active rest, but it just gets a little all over the place to be like, do this exercise, now quick, do some cross checks, now quick, after 10 seconds of that, start doing another exercise. So we will not have any Tabata timers today, nothing with the rest built in, and you will not stop moving until the final horn on the final timer. All right, take that top foot, put it in front of that bottom knee. We are lifting the bottom leg. So, if you are new to this class, then the other thing that I want to emphasize, and particularly for a class like this, which has an additional layer of intensity, but for all of my classes, if you are new or if you're just coming back after an absence, What I want from you is not dialing it up to 11. It's not your 100%, 110%. I want the bare minimum, okay? And that is comprised of 3 things. It's comprised of starting on time, stopping on time, and doing the exercise correctly, okay? So, top foot behind the bottom knee, still lifting that bottom leg. So, that is all you need to focus on if you are new to class. If you've been taking class with me for a couple months, I'm not talking to you anymore, and you know who you are. All right. If you are no longer new, and I'd say, personally, I would say that once you have done 4 weeks in a row with me, you are probably no longer new. You do not get to use the bare minimum as a matter of course. Okay. That's when we want to really start digging into challenging ourselves and seeing what we can do, what improvements we can make, with the blanket statement at all times that you are rolling over and starting these 3 exercises on the other side. You know your body and you know your life, okay? And I want you, if you've been coming to class for a long time, I want you to give me your 100% every time you're here. However, life happens, shit happens, and, some days we're really pumped to be here. Some days we're struggling with stuff, and we're excited to be here so that we can, push through that stuff and get a lot of angry energy out. And some days it can feel like a triumph just to be lying on the mat, okay? And so if your 100% is just, I came to class and I did as much as I could, then that's awesome, and I am proud of you, because it can be so hard to get ourselves to move on those days when we're battling our brains, when we are battling through other things that are happening in our lives. And I'm always gonna try and push and try and challenge, because that's my job. And a lot of times we all, myself included, need that outside voice to give us a little poke and remind us that we are capable of so much. But I always want you to remember that this isn't boot camp, okay? I am not a military figure, nor do I want to behave like one. And I am also not living your life. And so if you come to class and you're like, I don't even know if I'm going to make it through the whole hour, and you make it through the whole hour, even if you had to stop in the middle of timers, even if you weren't able to consistently do the active rest exercise, you came and you made it through that whole hour, and that is awesome, and you should always be proud of yourself for that. All right? So I am not a teacher who insists on people leaving their emotional stuff at the door, kind of a thing. I've heard that before in classes, and frankly, I think it's kind of nonsensical, because that's not how our brains work. That's not how our emotions work. We do not just, for many of us, I should not speak globally, because I think that there are people who are better at compartmentalizing, but for many of us, that is not how our brains work. We carry what we're experiencing with us, even if we try to push it to one side to deal with something else. It is still there. And I personally feel that it is far more useful to honestly and openly acknowledge where you are when you come to class, rather than coming to class and being like, okay, all right, I have to just not think about all this other stuff. I'm here for exercise. That's the only thing I'm here for. Can't think about all this other stuff. Well, no. Think about it. Honor it. Say, okay, this is where I am today. This is what I am dealing with today. Now, how do I use this hour of exercise for my benefit? You know, do I use it as an opportunity to really blow off steam? You know, if I'm struggling with anger or frustration at something and really just need to feel the intensity and the power of moving my body as a way to push through that? Or, you know, do I need to just use the movement and see if that, you know, is able to help my brain push into a slightly healthier space, as exercise frequently can do? Or do I just really need to be here and take class because it's a part of my routine, it is a thing that I know is healthy, and I really just need to make sure I'm doing something that is healthy for me today? Knowing what you are using class for is going to make class more effective for you, okay? Because you're not over here trying to pretend that you're not dealing with whatever you're dealing with. Because when we try to do that, it will still impact our class, but then we'll get frustrated with ourselves, you know? If you're struggling with exercises you don't usually struggle with, and you start getting angry at yourself because you're like, wow, I should be better at this. And it's like, well, you have other stuff that's going on, and you're trying to ignore it, and your body's not really letting you ignore it now, is it? So always remember that it is totally okay to acknowledge where you are in your emotional landscape today, okay? And to honor that, and to not come into class and try to partition that off, all right? And if you make an effort to be more honest with yourself just coming into class about where you are and letting that knowledge better guide you through class, then, I mean, that's a transferable skill, you know? That is something that can help you at other times in your life. When you're like, oh my God, I'm really struggling with this thing right now, but there's something else I have to get done. Rather than trying to ignore the thing I'm struggling with, let me take a second to acknowledge it and then figure out what I can do right now that is going to serve me best, okay? We believe in taking care of our mental health here at Blanche Case Fitness, and we are not shy about talking about it, because the United States of America is really, really bad at acknowledging the importance of caring for our mental health, you know? And you can see it right off the bat just in the way that we have split mental health insurance out of regular quote unquote health insurance, you know? We've split it out as if it's a separate thing, as if our mental health doesn't impact our physical health and vice versa. And, you know, having done that is a symptom, obviously, of our broader discomfort with talking about mental health, but it's also just a really clear symbol of the issue, which is that we try to drive this wedge between our brains and our bodies. What am I? The one day that I didn't sweep the floor, there's a stone under my feet. All right, everything's fine. It's all fine. But yeah, we tried constantly to separate the two, and it's ridiculous because that's not how humans work. That is not how our brains or our bodies work. You know, I've known for my entire life that when I am stressed mentally or emotionally about something, it will almost always manifest in some sort of physical issue. You know, when I'm struggling with things, you know, my shoulder will flare up, or a knee will start twinging, or I'll start getting stress headaches, you know, and I've thankfully understood that connection between my mind and my body for a while, but it's there, and a lot of us don't realize it. A lot of us do not understand those connecting points. So whenever you come to class, let's start there, because especially if this is something you struggle with allowing yourself to do, it can help to have a smaller starting place. Just start with, when I come to class, I am going to try and honor where I am rather than try and push it away and ignore it. All right, we are almost to the end of this warm-up, but remember, when that horn goes, we don't stop, we stand up and we start cross-jacking. All right, so this is our active rest exercise, and we will do this at all times that we are not doing a timer with other exercises going. And if you need to modify, there are a few modifications I've seen people make that I'm totally fine with. I've had students do the arm crossing, but just kick their feet forward, totally fine. I've had students turn it into this sort of side to side jump, that's fine too. The main goal is that you are never just standing around, all right? You are moving for the rest of class. Something I should have mentioned earlier is to make sure that you have your water at a level that you can easily grab it without having to stop moving. So if you have like a bookcase or a counter nearby, I definitely recommend that. And also dental health. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even go down that rabbit hole, but yes, absolutely. The fact that we have different types of what should all be health insurance is just staggeringly stupid. But scorpion twists are awesome. See, I love anything that gives us the opportunity to stretch out our backs and our hips. We just so many of us spend so much time sitting, and we don't, if you're at a computer all day, you're not having any occasion to twist unless you're actively like, I am going to twist now. And, your poor back needs some loving, needs some stretching. So, yeah, scorpion twists. All right, we are going to start with something we haven't done in about a month, guided back and forth, okay? So we are going to have 2 exercises, and I am going to set a rhythm and call out what exercise you're doing at each point. And you are going to have to do that exercise not only as I call it out, but also to the rhythm that I am setting, okay? So our two exercises are familiar exercises. We've got squat jumps, taking our feet in about a shoulder width position, squatting down, jumping up, and landing in that squat, and just going up, and then toe squats, which a slightly narrower stance, about hip width, trying to keep your back straight up and down, and squatting all the way down to the floor, letting your heels come up when they need to do so, and then back up to the top. So two very familiar exercises that we do all the time. We are going to do 5 squat jumps, then 4 toe squats, then back to 5 squat jumps, then back to 4 toe squats. So we're just going to be going back and forth, okay? And I'm going to be setting out the rhythm. So it will, when all said and done, I'll be hitting a rhythm, and it'll be like, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, toe squats. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? That's going to be the structure. We are going to do this for 2 minutes, and we're going to do this a few times in class. It'll be the same structure each time, so we'll move into it more quickly later on in class. But for now, everybody cross jack over to your mats, and I'm going to start the rhythm and call out when you need to begin, okay? So 5, 6, and ready for squat jumps. Jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, up, 2, down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats, down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats, down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and last time jumping, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats, down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back to cross jacks. Hey, good job, everybody. Woo! Oh, man. Yeah, we're going to do that a couple of times through class, so just, obviously the next time I won't have to give that long-winded explanation because you'll all be experts. Please make sure that you're drinking water, okay? And not choking on it like I just did. Yes, hydration, super important. And I know how awkward it can feel because you're still moving. You know, it's the same issue that that I have when I'm running half marathons. And I'm just like, how best to drink this liquid when I'm breathing faster than normal and also moving so the liquid is jumping up and down. It is doable though, I promise. So just make sure, just because this is perpetual motion does not mean that it is an excuse for us to not hydrate correctly, all right? Okay, so we are now going to do a perpetual motion set, just 30-second work intervals, easy peasy. And we are going to have 3 exercises, go 3 times through, and here are the exercises. So, we do kick-throughs in our warm-ups, yes. What we are going to do this time is do a kick-through, but with a wave push-up in the middle. So, normally, I would be here, I would kick through, and then just go straight through to the other side, okay? What I'm going to do this time, kick through, jump into a plank, do a wave push-up, kick through to the other side, wave push-up, kick through, and go back and forth, okay? Then we're gonna do turtle stands. So anytime I say turtle, you know that it begins with rolling up onto our shoulders, then up onto our feet. If you have trouble getting up onto your feet using solely momentum, you can use a hand to help push yourself up. And then we're just gonna stand, okay? We're not adding in a jump or anything like that. Just stand, then back down, up, stand, up, stand. And our third exercise is skips. So we're just skipping here in place, our usual hopping. As one knee comes up, the opposite arm comes up, and we hop on the standing foot and then switch it all around. And we're not trying to move around on the mat. We are just trying to stay in one place. All right, so let's get going. Let's get going, my friends. So cross jack back to your mats. And as soon as you hear that timer go, it will be time for kick-throughs with a wave push-up, okay? Hey, so there we go. So now you can see me do it from the side. Wave push-up, then just going back and forth. Now, one of the things that I talked about in the beginning of class for the bare minimum is starting on time. And recognizing that that gets more complicated when we are doing a perpetual motion class. So what does starting on time mean here when we never actually stop doing one exercise before we go into the next exercise? Well, it means that we want to minimize the amount of time that it takes to get from that one exercise that we're currently doing to the exercise that we need to begin doing. So for a lot of these, it's actually relatively easy. So you saw just then, for turtle stand, all I had to do was complete my stand and start skipping, basically. You know, I shifted myself so that you could see me in the camera, but that wasn't necessary. So if you're just doing this at home, you can literally just stand and start skipping. For kick-throughs, it requires more of a plane shift, which can be a little more complicated. So you just have to, practice in your head how that transition is going to go. And you will get, as you get more experience, as you do this class more, you will get more familiar with the individual exercises, certainly. And that will also help you to gain a clearer understanding of how to best shift from one exercise to the next with a minimum amount of time spent. Okay, so if this is your first time in class and you're still trying, having to work a little harder just to remember what the order of the exercises is, and it's, you're, every time the horn goes, you have to spend a couple of milliseconds going, what's the next thing? Oh, that's the next thing. How do I do that? Okay, no, I go down here. Then you're gonna take a little extra time getting from exercise to exercise, and that's totally fine. What I think you will notice is just over the course of the 3 times that we go through these exercises, you will notice that you get a little bit faster each time. And that's the goal, We're none of us starting out perfectly. We're none of us starting out with a perfect platonic ideal understanding of how to move from one exercise to the next. But we will get better the more that we do it. And that is our goal. That is absolutely our goal. The book club that I'm in right now, which is currently reading the book Me and White Supremacy, and really delving into the journaling work that is written out and recommended in the book. Now, we were talking last night during our session about something that I talk about in this class all the time, which is not letting our desire for perfect get in the way of trying, of doing something. You know that I say all the time that perfect is the enemy of good. And it's true. All right, back to those cross tracks, friends. If we never try doing something unless we know we're going to be perfect at it, then we're not going to try many things, because nobody is ever perfect the first time they do something, or the second time, or even the 50th time, and we frequently can use this desire to not be bad at something as an excuse for not trying, for not challenging ourselves, for not just pushing ourselves to do the work. And I want you to constantly hear in your head, perfect is the enemy of good. If you are always insisting on perfection, then you'll never get anywhere. You'll never get anything started, and you will leave behind a lot of good experiences and good activities and good relationships because you didn't feel perfect enough, So even if you're not good, and trust me, I have been very bad at everything that we are doing here, and the only thing that got me better was just continuing to do it. And that's what it comes down to. So please keep coming to class. Please keep trying, even on the things that are frustrating. Like, I understand that, but perfect is the enemy of good. And if we keep trying, you'll be amazed at where you can get to. All right, I've yet to be able to, someday, kick-throughs are one of the most complex exercises that we have, so don't worry. And yeah, it's totally the curse of a gifted child. Absolutely. It's a really terrible thing that we do to kids who we identify as intelligent, is we don't teach them how to fail well. All right, my friends, we're going back to the guided back and forth, and I'm not going to describe it because I know you know how to do it. Woo! So everybody just back on your mats. Get ready for me to call out that rhythm. And 5, 6, and here we go. And jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and back, 2 jumps, and jump, jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and last time through, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and up, 2, and down, 2, and that's the end. Back to your cross jacks. Yes, I know. You're like, didn't I just do enough jumping? But the answer is no, you have not done enough jumping yet. Ah. Ow, this just got real. Only just got real? I mean, we're well into class. I'm clearly not doing my job well enough yet. All right. Next round of perpetual motion starts soon. And here are the exercises. We're still doing 30-second work intervals. Woo. 3 different exercises. So, you thought that was real. Let me introduce you to the next 3 exercises. All right, so first one is going to be mountain climbers, okay? So, what do we focus on for mountain climbers? We have this nice plank position, butt out of the air, shoulders directly over wrists, and we maintain that even as we are driving our knees up towards our chest, okay? So you want to engage your shoulders, that strength, that stability, so that they are staying over your wrists. They're not pushing back away, which then tends to push your butt up in the air. No, no, no. All right. Then our second exercise, V for victory. It's Flaming Scarlets. Jumping from one foot to the other, getting those knees up above the crease in your hips, okay? And then our third exercise is going to be a full body tick-tock. So it actually isn't really a tick-tock, it's more of a pike extension. Anyway, so we start in this pike, arms straight and extended forward. Then I am going to extend myself out. My legs are still off the floor. My chest and arms are still off the floor. I am engaging my core. That's how I'm keeping all of this up. And then, back up to that pike. And down, and up, and down, and up. Okay? So those are our 3. Our 3 are mountain climbers, our flaming scarlets and full body TikToks, pike extensions, whatever you want to call them. Okay? Alrighty, so everybody cross-check back to your mats and get ready. As soon as you hear that horn go, we will be doing our mountain climbers. Oh man. So get ready to get down in a position. I know I'm going there a little earlier than you would be able to, but remember, you want to get into position as quickly as possible. So you see what I mean about I've engaged my shoulders, and so yeah, I'm moving around, but I'm not pushing myself backwards like this. Okay, that tends to be when people don't have as much strength in their shoulders, or they're just not engaging it and using it, then you will feel yourself start to push backwards and just end up with this, with your butt sort of going into a downward dog, but you're still trying to move your knees. It's really confusing. So if you feel yourself start to do that, then I want you to push your butt out of the air. That will help reset, and then you can engage the shoulders so that you can hopefully keep yourself in that position rather than continuing to push farther and farther back. Okay, but it's intense, and it took me years to get to a place where I felt like I could do mountain climbers, with any sort of stability. And they're still not my favorite, but a lot of that is just residual psychological dislike from the time that I spent really not having the strength and the engagement in my shoulders and the stamina in my shoulders to be able to maintain the position. So, I talk a lot about the satisfaction that comes when you do an exercise that you've always disliked and discover that you are better at it. And it's true, and it's really satisfying. The other side of that coin, though, is that, when we have exercises that we don't like, we've trained our brains to dislike them even as we get better at them. And so our brains are always going to tend to try and slack off a little bit more than normal for those exercises. And my brain certainly does that. For anything that involves that shoulder stability and engagement, so kick-throughs and mountain climbers, stuff like that, my brain will give up long before my body has to. And I have to really put effort into being like, no, body, like, you've got this. You've got this position. You've got the shoulder stability. You're keeping them nicely over your wrists. You've got the strength in your core to keep moving your knees. Your butt is not going into the air, but I have to talk myself through that because my brain is so used to being like, oh, you're bad at this exercise. And it keeps trying to convince me of that, even though I'm not bad at it anymore. So keep that in mind. And, I always want, I want us to be honest about the fact that there are exercises that we love and exercises that we hate. That is perfectly normal. It is not something that only happens to people who aren't professional instructors. I absolutely have exercises that I love and exercises that I really do not love. And, I want, as we're getting up and doing cross checks, I want to be honest about that for myself to help and normalize it for you, so that you don't feel weird or ashamed about that. But I also want to remind you that the more time you spend thinking about how much you hate this one exercise, the harder it's going to be for you to move through that headspace, even once you have built up the strength and the stamina and the power to be able to do it really well, And that just becomes a barrier in a different direction. So keep that in mind. Try to keep an open mind towards exercises. It's not always possible, but it is a good goal for us to strive for. Teaching how to fail. Oh, God. Yeah. Well, you can tell there are a lot of people in here who were in, gifted and talented classes when they were younger and never got taught how to fail. And that's been a source of a lot of mental health issues for me as I've gotten older, and come up against the real world, not the real world in that life's hard kind of a way, but just in terms of the fact that things change, things happen that you can't predict. Sometimes, even though you feel like you're doing everything right, you still lose. Captain Picard, thank you. And if you haven't been taught how to deal with that, then it can have a huge impact on your self-esteem, on your ego. And, it's something I'm getting better at over the years, but it's still something I struggle with. And I'm sure that many of you do too. So, here's to all of us who struggle with this internal expectation of perfection, always perfection. May we someday fully believe that perfection is not the be-all and end-all. Oh, water. All right. Guess what we're going back to? Oh, yeah. Going back to those guided back and forths, my friends. All right, this is our last time for them. So you know the drill. You know the score. You know what I want to ask of you. So everybody cross-checking on your mats. I will start the rhythm going. Get yourself prepared. All right. 5, 6, and here we go. And jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and here we go. And jump, and jump, and jump, and jump, and jump. Toe squats down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and back. 2 jumps and jump and jump and jump and jump and jump. Toe squats down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and back. 2 jumps and jump and jump and jump and jump and jump. Toe squats down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and up. 2 and down. 2 and last time through. And jump and jump and jump and toe squats, down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and up, 2 and down, 2 and back to cross jacks. Yeah. All right, so back to those cross jacks or whatever modification you want to make. Make sure you're drinking that water. Yeah, water. We love water. Whew. All right. Man, well, we have gotten through a lot of class, my friends. What do we have left? A cardio, not Tabata, because we're not doing Tabatas today, a cardio perpetual motion set. So it's still going to be 30-second work intervals, but we're going to have 2 exercises, and we're going to go through, we're going to bounce back and forth between them, a total of 8 repetitions, so 4 times for each exercise, okay? And we'll go back and forth between them. And the first exercise is going to be star jumps, all right? So for a jumping jack, you jump out and land and jump back in and land. For a star jump, you jump up, you bring your legs out in the air, but you land with your feet in the same position that they started in. So out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, like that, okay? For our star jumps, we're gonna take our elbows here, sort of bent like this. The easiest version of this is just letting them sort of bounce like this. If you want to add a little complexity, you can have the fingers meet above the head and then bring the elbows down to your sides as you land. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, okay? And then the other exercise is going to be burpees. And I know you know what I want from you for burpees because we do them in the warm-up. So still doing that wave push-up, doing that victory clap up at the top when you have that jump. And when we get to the end of this, you will finally be able to stop moving officially. So we're almost there, my friends. Oh my gosh, so close. Okay, so everybody cross check over to your mats. We are almost ready to begin. I just have to do a quick shift of a setting on this timer. Okay, 4 minutes stand between you and finally being able to stand still. Oh boy. All right, so as soon as you hear that horn go, we will be doing star jumps. So here we go. And that's an easy transition from cross jacks, obviously. You're already standing up, doing a little bit of a jumping exercise. So you don't have to shift planes or anything like that. You can just start doing the star jumps. And I never have a ton of form notes for these, but having your core engaged is just something you can generally assume I am telling you to do, okay? Y'all have, if you've taken this class with me for a while, you know how much I love the core as a really important and helpful stabilizing muscle group. So there are very few times when I would not say that having your core engaged is a good thing to be doing. Oh man. Okay, my friends, so here we are. We are moving through our final timer. It's the same amount of time as the Tabata. We've just converted the rest into continued activity, but you still are so close to the end of class. And, you know, we no longer have to hold any of that energy back. This is the part in the half marathon where you've got, you know, 0.1 miles left to go. You can see the finish line, And you're gonna dig deep and find that last well of energy that you didn't know was still in there, and you're gonna activate it, and you're just gonna push yourself to that finish line and across it, because you got nothing else that you need to hold back on. No reason to keep reserving energy. Here we are. This is what we need the energy for. We're using it right here. We're getting our cheerleaders out, just imagining the funnel, the tunnel that you go down at the end of a race. Everybody get your cheerleaders out, put them on the floor, next to your mat, next to your computer, next to your television, wherever you're watching this stream. They're doing their best routines, flipping in the air, throwing pom-poms wildly in all directions, because they know that you have made it through this class, and that makes you an automatic member of the Badass Club, because this is an hour where you did not stop moving. This is an hour where you did a lot of different activities, a lot of intense physical exercise. And you know what? You're still here. You're still moving. Even if you feel like you are gasping for breath right now, even if you are really struggling and having to concentrate hard to maintain that form, you are still here, and you are still giving it your all. And you should be so freaking proud of yourself, because that's all we need to do. That's all we need to do here. Show up, get on our mats, and give it our all. We're going into our final burpees section. There is nothing left after this. When you hear that horn go off again, you get to stop moving. So leave all that energy out on your mat, out in your living room, and get ready to just feel how awesome it feels to get that sound. Good job, everyone. Woo! Holy crow. Yeah. Good job. Man, these perpetual motion classes, they're no joke. And you know what? You making it through this class, that gets an automatic pat on the back. All right? No matter whether you had to take quick breaks or felt like you were just pulling yourself up that hill at the end, you made it through, and you should be super proud. Let's do a little stretching. That sounds like an excellent idea. Oh man. Woo. Sorry. Probably shouldn't be cracking my neck on stream. All right. Speaking of our necks, though, let's just start loosening ours out a little bit, and then we'll go straight down to the floor for a few exercises. So let's let our heads drop down, chin to chest, keeping the rest of the body straight up and down. Okay, so we're not trying to hunch over. We're just letting our chin come down, letting gravity release against our neck, so we're not using our muscles to hold our necks at all. And we're going to look up and look down. When you look up, I don't want you trying to look fully up and really crunching that neck. So try and actually, as you look up, keep a diagonal forward line from your eyes. So I'm not trying to look straight up at the ceiling. I'm lifting my gaze to about a 45-degree angle, I think. And so that way you're not crunching down on the vertebra on the top of your neck, okay? So we're just looking down and up and down and up. Okay, just keep going gently between these two positions. All right. And now center your head, straight up, look over your right shoulder, then left, right, and left, and just go back and forth here. And then center your head again. Drop your right ear down towards your shoulder, and then left, and go back and forth between these two sides. And now right ear down towards the shoulder. Take that right arm, put the hand on your other ear, and just let the weight of that arm pull your head slightly down closer towards your shoulder. All right, so you should feel a nice stretch along the side of your neck, away from the side where the ear is touching the shoulder. And release that arm, back up to the center, to the other side, left arm up. And you are not pulling on the head. You're literally just putting your hand on the side of your head and then relaxing the muscles in that arm enough that just the weight of the arm and gravity combined will deepen that stretch along the side of your neck. All right. Let your chin come to your chest. We're going to roll the neck a little bit, so up to one side, then back through the center and to the other side. So we're just going to do these half circles to start with. And then we're going to turn them into full circles, but keeping in mind, same as before, when I come up through the top, I'm not trying to look straight up at the ceiling. I'm still keeping that diagonal forward view, so I'm not crunching my vertebra. And then when I get back, chin to chest, going back in the opposite direction. One more time each side. All right, let's come down to our mats. And let's get pretzeled up. All right, so I'm going to show you one leg at a time. So I'm going to take one leg. I'm going to bend it in towards myself and pull the foot up against the opposite hip. So if this is my left leg, I folded it in. My left heel is now up against my right hip. I'm then going to take the other leg and bring that foot across and next to the knee that's in front. So this leg, knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. The folded leg down on the floor, knee is pointing forward. So whichever leg I have here with the knee pointing towards the ceiling, take my opposite arm, wrap it around, and just pull that leg into my chest a little bit, so that really deepens the stretch in your hip, okay? And then we are going to turn away from this arm. You can stretch your other arm behind you to help deepen the twist, so you'll feel a nice twist in your back, speaking of enjoying scorpion twists. And we want to hold this position, and we're going to take 4 deep breaths here, okay? Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. And now we're going to come back towards the center, but don't unfold yet. this foot here, this ankle, I'm gonna pull it up on top of this knee now. I'm flexing the foot. That's gonna help me protect this knee here, because what I'm now gonna do is just fold myself over, really deepening the stretch in that hip. This is very similar to pigeon pose, just less stretched out, okay? So just let yourself fold forward. The gravity and the weight of your torso is going to help deepen the stretch in this hip. 2 big breaths here. Ready? That's 1. And 2. Now come back up. You can let that leg come out, let this leg come out, shake those knees out a little bit, and then let us reverse. Well, not reverse, other side, okay? So recreate all of that positioning, just on the other side, arm hugging that knee into the chest, really feeling that stretch in the hip. We're gonna twist ourselves around, extending that other arm behind us to help us maintain that twist. Really pulling, activating this arm that's hugging the knee, pulling that knee in, really feeling that stretch in the hip. We're going to take 4 deep breaths here. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Turn back towards the front. This ankle up on top of this knee, flexing the foot to help protect the knee. We're going to fold forward. You can tell that this is my more flexible hip because everything is a lot more prettily positioned. So fold forward, feel gravity and the weight of your torso helping you to increase that stretch. 2 deep breaths here. Here we go. That's 1. And 2. And back up. Unfold everything. Shake out those knees. And now, final stretch for today. We're going to take a nice wide position here. Make sure your knees are pointing up towards the ceiling, okay? As with everything, we don't want our knees caving in towards the front, okay? So a lot of times that will require engaging the musculature in your thighs, and especially visualize it almost as if you have a string attached and you're pulling it back and around, and that will help you. That imagery will help you keep your knees pointing up towards the ceiling no matter where we go in this position, okay? So we're going to start by squaring our shoulders towards one of the legs, and we're just going to fold over that leg as close as we can get, keeping the leg straight but not tight and engaged. So if I put my hand on my quad muscle, I can shake it around because it's not activated. And we've talked about that, moving slowly into our stretch positions so we don't activate the muscle and put it in danger of tears. All right, so here we are. Woo, it's been a while since I've done this. All right, 4 deep breaths here. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Walk your hands back up. Turn towards the other side. And folding over this, we're trying to keep our shoulders straight forward, okay? Make sure this other knee still pointing up towards the ceiling. Shake that quad a little bit. Make sure that it's not tight and engaged. And let's take those 4 deep breaths. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And 4. Walk yourselves back up. Bring those legs in front of you. Shake the knees out a little bit. And that, I think, is going to be that. Oh, good job, everybody. Woo, what a great way to kick off our week. See, you know, I came into class and I was feeling a little off kilter, and 9 times out of 10, I would say, doing class or some sort of exercise activity does really help rebalance my brain. And it's not perfect, and you know, sometimes just trying to get started is a barrier that can't be surmounted, and you know, absolutely no shame in that, but when you are able to get yourself moving, even if you just throw yourself down onto the floor and do 5 push-ups, you know, or get yourself out of that chair and do some jumping jacks the way that we do them in the warm-up, not even like full jumping jacks, just our bare minimum jumping jacks. Just that little bit of movement can really help, you know. So if you were able to even just do that little bit, you know, it doesn't have to be I'm doing an entire hour worth class. It can really legitimately just be, I've been sitting in this chair for 5 hours, 8 hours, 10 hours. I just need to stand up and shake everything furiously, shake my arms and legs furiously, just to feel the movement in my body. And so often that does have a really amazing impact, positive impact, on my mental health, and hopefully for you as well. You know, exercise is not a silver bullet. I say that all the time. It is not. It is not going, you know, it is not the fountain of youth. It is not the key to immortality, but it's as close to a silver bullet as we have. And I am grateful to all of you for helping me to do these classes, because it provides a really clear, you know, like I have to work out 4 days a week because I'm here and I'm teaching with you guys, and just having that as I have a responsibility to everyone taking class, to be here, and that's really helped me to be more consistent with my exercise. So, you know, as much as I hope that I am helping all of you, you are absolutely helping me, and I really, really appreciate that, and thank you. And yeah, recognizing, you know, never wanting to minimize that it can be really hard, especially when you are going through, you know, some sort of a crisis period in your mental health, or even just a longer term, you know, encounter with depression or anxiety. You know, it can be really hard. So if you were able to move your body today, I'm really proud of you. And if you were just able to get through today, I'm really proud of you. Okay? I hope you always remember that. Hope you hear my voice in your head when you need that little outside voice to pump you up. All right, my friends, we've got 3 more classes this week. Tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. Mountain Time, we have Jump Around, which is our weekly cardio class. I promise you do get to rest during that. Friday at 6 p.m. is Functional Home Fitness, where we do weight training using objects you can find around the house. I found a couple of new exercise ideas, and I'm excited to try them out on you all. Woohoo! And then Saturday morning at 9 a.m. we have the weekend kickoff, which is a wonderful strength and stamina focused bodyweight class. So definitely check out one or all of those classes if you have the time and the inclination. You can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Facebook and Insta at Blanche Case Fitness, Twitter at Blanche C Fitness. All of my VODs are uploaded to my YouTube channel, Blanche Case Fitness, so head over to YouTube and subscribe to that, because you can find all of the VODs from these classes, and I will be updating it over the coming months with additional supplementary materials, a video on our warm-up, videos on stretching sequences, individual videos for different exercises, really doing a deeper dive into form. So if you have an exercise that you're like, I feel like I don't quite grasp it and there's never quite enough time in class, there will hopefully be videos for that. If you would like to support me continuing to make these streams, do these streams, make this content, I do have a Ko-Fi account, Blanche Case Fitness. Donations are always appreciated, never required. And if you enjoyed yourself, if you want to see more, if you want to keep coming back, then please follow this channel. We're cooking with gas. We're doing so much fun stuff, and it's just so awesome and such a privilege to be here with all of you. So thanks for coming to class today, my friends. Hopefully you have a great rest of your night, celebratory shower, good dinner, and I will see maybe some of you tomorrow. Mwah. Have a great night.